How about fragrances that are inspired by what grows in the garden? I know, sounds a bit boring, but if you want to find out what I've picked, well then you know what to do. Stay tuned. Scenturion Legio X is on sale and links are in the description. Hello, my name is Scott and this is the Scenturion, and today I bring you out in the garden again. Now, you'll have to excuse the noise, there's lots of noise going on around here. There's people playing basketball over there, God knows why. There's someone putting up a conservatory over there, so I apologise for the noise. Anyway, back to the fragrances. Now I've come to the ripe old age of 50, it seems that I've inherited this urge to grow stuff in the garden. Now, before that, I absolutely detested gardening, hated it, didn't want to do it, and I would run a mile if I was roped into any type of gardening at all. But now it seems like I'm embracing the idea of growing things, especially from seed as well. So I've been buying all the different equipment and what have you. Anyway, I digress, I won't bore you with that. But that inspired me. I've got a plane. Inspired me. So that inspired me to pick some fragrances that are that have got notes of fruits and vegetables that are grown in the garden. Some of you might like that, some of you may not. So let's start off with the first one. Now this is one of my favourite fragrances for the spring and summer, and it is by Josier and it's called Quetzaly. It's absolutely beautiful presentation in there. Now this is absolutely gorgeous. Straight away you get that beautiful pepper note in here. You've got chili peppers in the top, then there's avocado and lime, then in the mid there's incense, dahlia, copal, and then there's in the base there's sandalwood, cedar and musk. Now straight away you get the chili pepper and the lime, and it's such a beautiful combination. You wouldn't think that chili pepper would be such a gorgeous note in fragrance, but it really is. There's the noise, by the way. And there's an incense to it as well. This to me is Mexico in a bottle. Absolutely gorgeous. It's got a creaminess to it from the sandalwood, and light musks in there as well, and a beautiful floral note, all mixed together. It's semi-gourmand. It is beautiful. It's not overly sweet, because as you can imagine there's a slight sharpness from the peppers, but that also brings that zing as well, and it's refreshing. It's different to anything I've ever smelled before. But that is Josier's Quetzaly. If you've not tried it, I urge you to, because it's a strange one, but in a good way, and I think that you'd be blown away by it. The next one is from Jovoy's own line, and it is L'Arbre de la Connaissance, I think it's pronounced. I might well have butchered that. And this has in it top notes of green notes, citruses, and then in the mid there's black fig. Then there's fig tree, sandalwood and patchouli, and this is predominantly a fig fragrance. It's beautiful in the warm weather. It's also refreshing like fig is, especially black fig. And it's sweet as well. It's quite sweet, but that fig is so beautiful. There's other citruses in there, and I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't like something like grapefruit in there, and then bergamot as well. It's almost sickly sweet, so you don't need a lot of it. It's very strong, so just a couple of sprays at the tops, but it is a really beautiful fragrance. One I would say having lunch out with your friends. It's not what I would call a picnic fragrance. It's more of a you want to be semi-casual, semi-smart, but that is absolutely gorgeous fragrance. Jovoy, and that is L'Arbre de la Connaissance. Now on to the next one. So this is more of a floral one, if you will, and it is by Boucheron, and it's Jaipur Homme. This could be picked up really cheaply. For 100 ml, I think you can pick this up for like about £22–23. I will leave links to whatever I can. Ah, for goodness sakes. I will leave links to whatever ones I can, trying to find the best prices. But this is such a beautiful powdery floral. It's got so many different florals in there. The carnation in there is very prominent, along with what I would call a garden rose. In the notes we have cardamom, lime, lemon and bergamot, and then in the mids we've got cinnamon, carnation, rose and jasmine, and then in the base there's benzoin, tonka bean, patchouli and cedar. And it's, as I said, it's English garden right at the beginning, but there's a sweetness to it as well. That cinnamon is just slightly detectable. You wouldn't think a cinnamon would go, but it really does give it a different aspect altogether. As it moves on, you then get a woody type of base, not too woody, but you get that cedar, beautiful cedar coming through, and there's like the dryness from the patchouli as well. And it is just such a refreshing fragrance, and you can wear that on the hottest of days knowing that it's going to stay with you all day long. It's absolutely beautiful. But that is Boucheron's Jaipur Homme. Right, now the next one is my own fragrance, which is Scenturion Legio X. Now, as some of you may know, this has got a Sicilian tomato leaf running right through it, mixed with apple, and I just love this. It's such, the greenness of the apple and the tomato leaf really does work. It's refreshing right at the get-go. There's herb bouquet in there, a mixture of herbs to give it that mini herb garden feel, you know, that Italian feel. There's a mixture of old and new is what I try to create here. Again, I'll leave everything in the description where you can buy it from. As this dries down, it then becomes a gorgeous leather fragrance, so it's very versatile throughout the warm weather as well. So it would be ideal during the day, and it will see you right through to the night. Very long lasting, but it's that tomato leaf, mint and apple that really is beautiful right at the beginning. But that is Scenturion Legio X. Now the next one is a weird one, but I want to chuck this one in because it isn't talked about that much, and it's a note that is sort of used, but I only know of two fragrances, this one and Delina, and the note in it is rhubarb, and this one is Dunhill 51.3N. Now the 51.3N, I think I got the number right, pertains to the coordinates of London basically, or where the Dunhill shop is, I think anyway, or where it was. And this is really quite a surprise. This again can be picked up so cheaply. It's a really heavy bottle, heavy cap, and the rhubarb note in here is beautiful. As you get a sweet rhubarb, but it's not overly sweet, and there's a creaminess to it, almost like it's rhubarb and custard. But there's also there's a perfume aspect to it. Now you've got rhubarb and grapefruit in the top, then you've got pepper and pink pepper, and then Virginian, cedar and lavender, and then in the base you've got sandalwood and vanilla. Now rhubarb and custard is what I get. It is just a tiny bit spicy coming from the pepper, and that makes it less of a gourmand. I'd still say it's a gourmand fragrance, but mixed with a summer fragrance. It's really cleverly done, and you can pick that up really cheaply. It doesn't last on the skin forever. I think I get probably about 4 or 5 hours, but the money it costs you could respray easily. It's not gonna make any difference. Just make sure you've got a decant with you. But you can pick that for about £22 again, I think. But that is Dunhill 51.3N. And our last one is one of my favourites, and this has got some quite peculiar notes in as well, and it is Xeryus Rouge by Givenchy. Now this has got notes of cactus, Chinese orange, tarragon, then there's pimento pepper, African geranium and cedar, and then in the base you've got sandalwood, cedar and white musk. Now it's the strange note, I've got to spray this on skin, the strange note of cactus. There's like a wateriness to it, but there's more to it than that. There's a gorgeous pepperiness to it. It's sweet, but it's spicy. It's floral, but it's woody. It's all them combinations. It's just gorgeous, but it's the pepperiness and that cactus that really does set this apart from everything else. In my eyes, it's the best Givenchy that you can get because it's different. It's different to anything else out there. I think it came out in 1995. You can still buy it. I don't know so much in shops as such, but I know you can get that from discounters like Notino and allbeauty.com. But again, you can pick that for between £40 and £50 for a 100ml bottle, and it is well worth it because it does last as well. It's also really, really nice in the evening because it's got that staying power. It stays with you all night, and it's a head turner, I think, because it's different. Anyway, they are my fragrances for what can be grown in the garden, basically. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell down below, and keep safe out there, and I will see you all very, very soon. Thank you very much.